Mr. Krishna Mali. Krishna Mali. Krishna Mali. Mali. Am I audible? Hello? Can anybody confirm that I am audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And my screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Just I want to get one confirmation from Mr. Mali. I'm seeing two names here. One is Krishna Mali and one is Siddheshwar Mali. Can both of them unmute?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Hello.
Siddheshwar Mali. And one more name is there, Krishna Mali.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Two Mali are there. Okay, I got confused between the names. Okay, doesn't matter. So because there was two Mali names coming into picture, and Siddheshwar called me saying that it is his name. Okay, doesn't matter. So good evening, everybody. I hope you are tired from morning. How many lectures were there from the morning? How much? Three lectures. Okay. So are you enjoying the lectures or not?
Yes.
Yes, very
Yes,
good.
sir.
If you are enjoying, it is nice. Okay, very good. So now almost 22 students joined. So let us try to start. So basically, around 30 students generally join, but still, see, again minimize every time somebody tries to join and let him in. So we will, once the class roll number list has been finalized, then we will try to overcome this particular problem, wherein we will try to give you college email IDs, wherein once you are signing in with that particular mail ID, then every time I need not minimize. Automatically you will be allowed to enter. So that can be done, but not at this stage, because presently everybody is entering with his or her own email ID. So that is problem. So therefore every time I have to minimize and admit you. Okay. So by the next week, I think that problem can be solved. Okay. We'll take care of that particular problem in the next week. So now, so we were discussing our first chapter. As you are seeing here, we have discussed the syllabus. Then we went on to discuss the heat engine. Then we discussed what is external engine, what is internal engine. Then we have the different engine components list, and all the components one by one we discuss the engine block, how it is construction, what it is the material is used, what are the different types of engines on the basis of different engine blocks. Then the internal constructions details, one by one each component we have seen. Then we went on to discuss the valves, cylinder head, one by one. Then the manifolds, inlet and exhaust manifolds we discussed, the liners we discussed, gudgeon pin. Then the piston we discussed, different types of piston rings we discussed. Then the connecting rod we discussed, different types of connecting rods, arrangement for connection of the connecting rod with the crankshaft, bearings used for engine crankshaft, and the engine crankshaft assembly, and the mechanism wherein translatory motion is being converted into rotary motion we discussed. Then we went on to discuss uh, the lubrication system used in crankshaft. Then we discussed the connecting rod. So different types of crankshaft, the valve operating mechanism we discussed, the valves, engine valves we discussed, the inlet and exhaust valve. So the valve operating mechanism, the single overhead camshaft and double overhead camshaft we discussed. The crankcase we discussed, the flywheel we discussed. Then the radiator we discussed, spark plug we discussed. Governor we discussed, carburetor, fuel injector, turbocharger. I think this much we have covered in the previous lecture. So basically what we have done is, in the previous lecture we have discussed the different components used in a going into the construction of a engine, and let us move ahead to discuss the engine nomenclature. What is this nomenclature? It is a nomenclature. It means related to the some parameters related to engine, the constructional parameters related to engine in terms of dimensions and all. So these are we are calling it as the nomenclature. For example, when we have a cam, we have the cam lift, we have the base circle, such things are there. So we call it as a nomenclature. Okay. So similarly here, the engine nomenclature, these are the terms included in the engine nomenclature: top dead center, bottom dead center, bore, stroke, swept volume, clearance volume, compression ratio. These are the different terms related to engine nomenclature, which we should know as engineers. And I think everybody knows all these particular things. Still, let us see how these particular terms are. So in this particular picture, the engine nomenclature is being clearly explained. So you can see over here the bore. The bore is the diameter of the cylinder. Okay, cylinder diameter is called as bore. So the word is coming from the boring. That is, when we make the hole in the cylinder, we call it as a boring operation. Is coming, and therefore the word is coming bore. Okay, so the bore means here the diameter of the engine. Then we have the top dead center. Top dead center is the point at which the top end of the cylinder, piston, when the piston is at extreme highest position. म्हणजे पिस्टन जास्तीत जास्त वरती असताना, मॅक्झिमम वरती असताना, ज्या वेळेला त्याचा वरचा जो भाग आहे पिस्टनचा तो कुठं असेल, सो दॅट इज द टॉप डेड सेंटर. And similarly, where will be the bottom when the piston is at the bottom? Okay, that particular region is what we call as the bottom dead center, and the distance moved in between this two dead center is called as stroke length. So this is your cylinder, this is your piston, this is your connecting rod, this is your crankshaft. So you can see over here in this particular this is the center of the crankshaft, and this is the center of the crank pin. So at the crank pin we have connecting rod connected. Okay, and this center is going to rotate like this around the center of the crankshaft, and at this particular center we have the support. So yesterday when we discussed the crankshaft, it was here, and the point at which we are connecting the connecting rod, big end of the connecting rod is here, which we call as a crank pin. Okay, and the crank pin center line rotates around the center of the crankshaft. Okay, and this particular diameter of this particular circle is equal to stroke length. How? When it is at maximum position, this will be straight, and when this is at the minimum position, at that time also this will be straight. Okay, So because it will be rotating like this, and when it comes over here, this will be straight. Connecting rod will be straight. Again, when it comes over here, the connecting rod will be straight. But when it is coming over here, the piston will be at topmost position. And when it is coming over here, the piston will be at bottommost position. And the distance between these two is what you call as a stroke length. Stroke length. Okay. So, the distance between one dead center to another dead center. Now, why the names dead centers? Dead centers. So, the name dead center is coming into picture because this is the point at which we are considering that the piston is going to be stationary. Now, how it can become stationary? It is moving, isn't it? How it can become stationary? No. It is become stationary because momentarily it will be become stationary. How? It will be moving on the upper side and then it will be moving down. Now, before it starts moving down, it will go on slowing down, and finally it will come to rest. And then it can change the direction. Then it will change the direction. So, momentarily, it is going to be stationary at a certain point. Okay, and that particular point is what you call as a dead center. And there are two dead center, one dead center at the bottom and one dead center at the top, considering the engine cylinder is vertical. Okay, if the engine cylinder is horizontal, we call it as outer dead center and inner dead center. Okay, so now consider it is vertical. We consider it is vertical, and correspondingly, the dead center on the top side of the piston and cylinder, and the dead center on the lower side of the cylinder, and the distance between these two dead center is called a stroke, and the dead center on the upper side is what you call as the top dead center, and the dead center on the lower side is what you call as bottom dead center. So I hope everybody understood what is dead centers. Okay, so remember the word dead center over here. Okay, dead center. So dead center is that particular point at which the piston can be considered as remaining stationary. It is moving up, it is going up, and then at one particular location, when the piston is a topmost position, thereafter it will start coming down. It will start coming down. Okay, so when it is coming down, it has to change the direction. It has to change the direction, and the point at which it is changing its direction is what you call as the dead center. Okay, it is called as dead center. So here you can see when it reaches over here, it is becoming stationary and then changing its direction. So you can see over here, it is becoming, the connecting rod is becoming vertical when it is at bottom dead center and top dead center. So this particular point is your bottom dead center, and this particular point is called as top dead center, and the distance between these two is what you call as your stroke length. Okay, so that is your stroke length, and the diameter of this particular cylinder is what you call as the bore. So this is your bore, this is your stroke length, this is your top dead center, this is your bottom dead center. Okay, and this is your cylinder now, piston, connecting rod, crankshaft. Okay, so here this is your crank pin. This is a crank pin. Crank pin can be seen rotating around the center. Which center? Crankshaft center. So this is the center at which you have supported the crankshaft. Okay, so bearings, you have the engine bearings, shaft bearings over here. So yesterday whatever we discussed about bearings, that bearings are over here. Okay, that is a bush type bearings we said. Okay, so that bearings are at this particular center, and you have the crank pin rotating around the center of the crankshaft, and the diameter. So now the diameter, this particular diameter is equal to stroke length. So if you increase this, the stroke length will also increase. So that is how your dimensions of a engine is coming into picture. So you have now here the top dead center, bottom dead center, bore, and stroke. Okay, stroke. Now next is swept volume. Volume corresponding to the motion of the piston from bottom dead center to top dead center is called as stroke volume or swept volume. Okay, swept volume. So swept volume is volume swept by the piston when it is moving from bottom one dead center to another dead center. एका डेड सेंटर पासून दुसऱ्या डेड सेंटर पर्यंत मूव्ह होत असताना जेवढा व्हॉल्यूम द पिस्टन स्वीप करतोय त्या व्हॉल्यूमला म्हणजे आपण काय म्हणणार, swept volume. Okay, swept volume. And you can see very clearly what is the swept volume over here. So the volume from here to here is what you call as the swept volume in this particular case. So that is about your swept volume. Okay, now this clearance volume, one more volume is there which we call as clearance volume. So when the piston is top dead center, there is some volume on the upper side of the top dead center and upper side of the head. So the volume between this line and this distance. So this particular volume is what you call as, so basically we can say it is a combustion chamber. So the volume of the combustion chamber, we never say it is a combustion chamber. In that terms, we will not generally define. We say volume above the piston when the piston is at top dead center. Okay, volume inside the cylinder when the piston is at top dead center. Volume above the cylinder when the piston is at top dead center is called as clearance volume. So you have swept volume this much, and this is your clearance volume, and you have this together. The swept volume plus clearance volume is your total volume. Okay, total volume. So you have some total volume also, and so you have a swept volume, you have clearance volume, and you have something called as compression ratio. What is compression ratio? Initial volume divided by final volume is your compression ratio. Initial volume is when the piston is at bottom dead center. When the piston is at bottom dead center, you have some volume of the cylinder X, and when the piston is at top dead center, you have some volume over here. Okay, that is suppose Y, and the ratio of this particular is what you call as compression ratio. Initial volume divided by final volume is your compression ratio. So the compression ratio for engines will be in the range of 7:1, 8:1, 6:1, 12:1, 22:1, 24:1, like that. Okay, what it means is, याचा अर्थ काय, compression ratio चा अर्थ काय, इनिशियली किती व्हॉल्यूम होतं आणि शेवटी किती व्हॉल्यूम झालं. म्हणजे उदाहरणार्थ शेवटचं व्हॉल्यूमला आपण 1 लिटर असं गृहीत धरू, 1 लिटर असं गृहीत धरू, आणि आपण जर म्हणत असू की compression ratio is 12:1, it means that 12 liters of gas was there, 12 liters of char was there, and finally it was compressed to 1 liter. That is what you mean by 12:1 compression ratio. Okay, initial volume किती होतं, 12 लिटर. 12 लिटर. आता व्हॉल्यूम आहे म्हणून लिटर मध्ये बोलतोय, बरोबर का, व्हॉल्यूम आपण लिटर मध्ये मोजतो. So initially it was 12 liters, and what is the final volume? 1 liter. So 12 divided by 1, what it will be? 12. So 12:1 is the compression ratio. Okay, so that is your compression ratio. So the nomenclature related terms, top dead center. Basically, what is dead center? Dead center is the point where we consider the piston is becoming stationary. Okay, before it changes direction. Before it changes its direction. So initially it was moving up, and now it is supposed to move down. In between, when it is moving up and down, momentarily it has to stop, and then it can change its direction. Okay, and that particular point is what you call as dead center. So we have two dead centers in an engine. One is a top dead center and one is a bottom dead center. So for a vertical engine, the higher dead center is what you call as the top dead center, and lower dead center is what you call as a bottom dead center. Okay, or in other words, the dead center which is away from the crankshaft is called as top dead center, and the dead center which is nearer to the crankshaft is called as bottom dead center. In the similar lines, the dead center away from the crankshaft in a horizontal engine. Okay, so we know what is a horizontal engine. So it will be like this. Okay, it will be like this, and the piston will be moving like this inside the cylinder. So if the crankshaft is here, then one dead center will be away from the cylinder, crankshaft, and one will be nearer to the cylinder. In that particular case, one we call it as which is away from the is called as outer dead center, and one which is nearer to the cylinder is called as inner dead center. Okay, we call it as ODC and IDC. Here TDC and BDC we call it as top dead center and bottom dead center. There we call it as outer dead center and inner dead center, because since the cylinder is horizontal, you cannot have a top and bottom. Okay, so we say outer dead center and inner dead center. So that is about the dead centers. Then the bore means the diameter of the cylinder. Approximately we say it is equal to diameter of the piston. Okay, but we know yesterday we have discussed there is some clearance, so we say approximately. Then the stroke length, the length or the distance traveled from one dead center to another dead center by the piston. Okay, this is what you call as stroke length. And the volume swept by the piston when it is moving from one dead center to another dead center is called as swept volume. Swept volume. And the volume above the piston, when the piston is at top dead center, is called as clearance volume. Okay, and the swept volume plus clearance volume is your total volume. Swept volume plus clearance volume is your total volume, and the initial volume divided by final volume is called what you call as compression ratio. Okay, so we know when the engine is functioning, we have different processes, and the first process is compression. Unit. So we have suction, compression, expansion, and exhaust. So generally four processes we have learned. Out of that, one is compression, and during the compression, some initial volume is there, and at the end of the compression, some volume is there. So that initial volume divided by final volume is what you call as compression ratio. So whatever the initial charge is there, that has been compressed to one final amount of charge, and the ratio of this particular initial charge divided by final charge, or volume of initial charge divided by volume of final charge, is what you call as compression ratio. Okay, so the compression ratio is demonstrated over here. Sorry, all the nomenclature. So this is your top dead center, this is your bottom dead center. You can see the piston is at here, that is piston is going to become stationary. Here it is going to become stationary, and the distance between these two is equal to stroke. Okay, so this is called as a bottom dead center, this is called as top dead center. Okay, so here we have the clearance volume. So this particular volume from the top of the cylinder to this TDC line. Okay, so this distance between these two is called as your clearance volume. Okay, so and the volume corresponding to bottom dead center to top dead center, this particular volume is what you call as swept volume, and the swept volume plus clearance volume is your total volume. Okay, swept volume plus clearance volume is your total volume. And volume, initial volume means when the piston is here, how much it is? The swept volume plus clearance volume, that is your initial volume. And what is final volume? Final volume is clearance volume. Okay, so initial volume divided by final volume is your compression ratio, and the diameter of this particular cylinder is what you call as your bore of the cylinder. Okay, so that was about engine nomenclature. So here the question can be with neat sketch, explain engine nomenclature. त्यावेळेला काय हे सगळे टर्म्स लिहायचे, आता आपण जी काही लिहिलेलं होतं ती सगळे टर्म्स लिहायचे. ओके, आणि एक 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 करून ही टर्म्स ही फिगर काढून एक्सप्लेन करायची. ओके, इट कॅन बी अ सिंपल स्केच, not necessary it is a 3D sketch like this. Okay, you can have a simple sketch. So that was your and next point is classification of the engine. Classification of the engine. आपण अगोदरच म्हणलं होतं what is mean by classification. Okay, already we have discussed what is classification. So basically classification means वर्गीकरण, isn't it? मला वाटतंय वर्गीकरण मराठीत. So basically what it is different from types. So that is what you have to remember over here. मग आपण इथं काय करतो? The basis on which the classification is done, and then the types coming under that. Okay, so that is how we write the classification. So first classification is on the basis of cycle of operation. On the basis of cycle of operation, engines are being classified into 2-stroke cycle engine and 4-stroke cycle engine. Okay. Secondly, on the basis of on the basis of thermodynamic cycle, we have the engine classified into Otto cycle, diesel cycle, and dual cycle. Third classification, on the method of ignition used, engines are classified into SI engine, that is spark ignition engine, and CI, that is compression ignition engine. Method of ignition, how we are burning the mixture. Kasa burning करतोय. On the basis of number of cylinders, engines can be classified into single cylinder engine, multi-cylinder engines, or we can have single cylinder engine, 4-cylinder engine, 2-cylinder engine, 6-cylinder engine, 8-cylinder engine, and so on. Or in general, we have single cylinder engine and multi-cylinder engine. Then we have cooling system. On the basis of cooling system, engines can be classified as air-cooled engines, water-cooled engines, oil-cooled engines, and so on. So we can have classification like this in case of on the basis of cooling system. On the basis of fuel used, engines can be classified as petrol engine, diesel engine, gas engine, etc. On the basis of speed of engine, engines can be classified as high speed engine, low speed engine, medium speed engine, etc. On the basis of application, engines can be classified as automotive engines, means engine used in automobiles, automotive engines, aircraft engines, means engines used in aeroplanes, aircrafts, marine engines, means engines used in ships, boats, etc., marine engines, and generator sets or power generation application. Okay, engines used for power generation application, generator sets, and we can have this particular list increased. So on the basis of arrangement of the cylinders, we can have the classification as vertical engines, horizontal engines, V engines, radial engines, opposed piston engines, and opposed cylinder engines. Okay, so you can see in the figure, one is a vertical, so this is a vertical cylinder engine, one is a horizontal cylinder engine. So in this particular case, this cylinder will be horizontal. Okay, preferably in bikes, etc., we have horizontal engines. Then if we have V engines, so this is a V engine. Okay, this is a V engine. This is called as an inline engine. When number of cylinders are placed in a line, they are called as inline engines. So this is a single cylinder engine. This is a multi-cylinder inline type of engine. This is a V type of engine. So this is a V8 engine. 4 on this side and 4 on this side, we have V8 engine. This is a opposed piston cylinder. This is a opposed cylinder engine. Okay, this is a radial engine. This is a radial engine. Okay, so like this, we have different arrangement of the engines, different arrangements of the engines. So on the basis of the cylinder, how the cylinders are arranged, we have this particular classification. So that was about the classifications. Sir, the question in the examination with respect to this particular point will be classify the engines based, write the classification of the engines. Okay, so we have to write the different classification, that is basis on which we are classifying, and then we will be writing one by one the types of it. Okay, so cycle, thermodynamic cycle, method of ignition, number of cylinder, cooling system. So when we I say cooling system, then I will write below that air cooled, water cooled, like that. Okay, so we have so many classifications of the engines. We can have even more. Suppose I say steel engines and cast iron engines. Okay, or I will say metallic engines and non-metallic engines. Suppose I have some non-metals used for the construction. Means I'm saying just an example. Okay, So like that, you can have so many type of engine. You can say carbureted engine and naturally aspirated engine. What is carbureted type of engine? In which mixture will be provided or air will be provided with the help of a device what you call as a carburetor. Okay, and generally you have what you call as a, or we have a naturally aspirated engines and turbocharged engines. That is, in naturally aspirated engines, it is sucking the air, and turbocharged engines we are forcing in the air. Okay, that can be another classification. You can have number of classification. एवढंच classification मध्ये आहेत असं काय नाही. You can go on adding. Okay, कुठल्याही समजा on the basis of different types of piston, the engines can be classified as this type of piston engine, this type of piston engine, this type of piston engine, like that you can say. Okay, so any basis you can decide, and then you can have a classification on that particular head. Then you can write the types coming under that particular classification. Okay, so it can be anything. So you if I say petrol engine, a diesel engine, alcohol engines, like that. Okay, depends. It can be a lengthy list. So it is not that only we have here this much. It can be a lengthy. I can add it here, but this is a generalized I have written. Okay, so in the similar manner here, single cylinder or multi-cylinder, this cannot be only. We can have right here 4-cylinder engine, 8-cylinder engine, 16-cylinder engine, and so on. Okay, so that was about classification of the engine. And moving ahead to the basic two types of engines. So we know the basic two types of engines what we generally have in this particular subject is, the one is the petrol engine and another is a diesel engine. Okay, the much popular. कारण तुम्ही क्लासिफिकेशन म्हटल्यानंतर कधी असं लिहायचं नाही पेट्रोल इंजिन, डिझेल इंजिन, 2-stroke इंजिन, 4-stroke इंजिन असं लिहायचं नाही. पहिल्यांदा क्लासिफिकेशन म्हटलं की द बेसिस ऑफ ऑन विच वी आर क्लासिफाइंग अँड देन यू हॅव टू राईट द टाइप्स. एवढं देण्यात ठेवा कायम. सो petrol engine. A petrol engine is an internal combustion engine with spark ignition designed to run on petrol or gasoline or some another volatile fuels. त्याला आपण पेट्रोल इंजिन असं म्हणतो. बरोबर. It was invented. So here we are just peeping into the history of the engines. आणि year बघा, it was invented in 1876. 1876. आता 2020 आहे. 1876 चाललंय आपण बोलतोय. त्यावेळेला इन्व्हेंट झालं बाय जर्मन सायंटिस्ट निकोलस ऑगस्ट ऑटो, and therefore it is called as the cycle which he has designed is called as Otto cycle. So the cycle on which this petrol engine works is called as Otto cycle because it was invented by Nicholas August Otto. Okay, the scientist name is German scientist Nicholas Otto. The process differs from a diesel engine in the method of mixing the fuel and air and in using spark plugs to initiate the combustion process. So that is the difference. म्हणजे कशा प्रकारे आपण मिक्सर तयार करतोय आणि कशा प्रकारे ते पेटवतोय ह्याच्यामध्ये फरक आहे. That is how it is being differentiated from CI engine. असं त्यांना म्हणायचं आहे त्यात. सो ह्याच्यावरनं काय तर त्यांना ठेवा, सुरुवातीला ज्या वेळेला आपण जर हिस्ट्री बघायला गेलो इंजिनची तर एकदम सुरुवातीला it was the oils, maybe that is vegetable oils, it may be any vegetable oil was researched. सुरुवातीला ते vegetable oil वरती रिसर्च चालू झाला. तर तसं का, कारण काय की त्यावेळेला ज्या वेळेला सुरुवातीला इंजिन अजून इन्व्हेंट झालं नव्हतं त्यावेळेला लोकांनी काय विचार केला, इफ ऑइल कॅन बी बर्न्ड इन अ लॅम्प, व्हाय इट कॅनॉट बी बर्न्ड इन इंजिन? It should be able to. And with that particular thinking, they started the research of engine. आणि त्यामुळे सुरुवातीला सगळ्यांनी वेगळ्या वेगळ्या प्रकारच्या ऑइलवरती, व्हेजिटेबल ऑइल्स वरती रिसर्च चालू केलं. तर तुम्ही जर बघितलं हे 1875च्या अगोदरचा काळ, तर त्यावेळेला बऱ्याच प्रमाणात रिसर्च चालू होतं, बरोबर, बऱ्याच सायंटिस्ट कडून चालू होतं, आणि ते सगळं वेगळ्या वेगळ्या प्रकारच्या ऑइल यूज करून होतं, व्हेजिटेबल ऑइल्स. तर इनिशियली सगळं व्हेजिटेबल ऑइल्स वरती चाललं होतं. मग नंतर असं काय झालं की आपण पेट्रोल किंवा डिझेलकडे आलो. त्याच्यानंतर त्यावेळेला त्या काळात पेट्रोल किंवा डिझेल नावाचा प्रकारच नव्हता, कारण तुम्हाला माहिती आहे पेट्रोल किंवा डिझेल कुठून आलंय, आपण ते जमिनीतून बाहेर काढलंय, बरोबर. सो thousands of years ago some vegetable matter got buried inside the earth, and under the pressure and temperature inside the crust of the earth, that particular vegetable matter was converted into some fuel which we call as crude oil. And this particular crude oil, when taken out from the earth and when distilled, we get different fuels like petrol, diesel, etc. अशा प्रकारे आपल्याला फ्युएल्स मिळतात, बरोबर. परंतु हियर, सो ॲज अ सेड, त्या काळात काय नव्हतं, पेट्रोल किंवा डिझेल नव्हतं. मग त्यावेळेला काय होतं, तर ही व्हेजिटेबल ऑइल्स होते. आणि मग लोकांनी काय विचार केला की अरे बाबा, आपल्याला एखादं दिव्यामध्ये जर आपण एखादं तेल जाळू शकत असं, किंवा दिवा जर पेटत असेल, तर ती इंजिन मध्ये पण पेटलंच पाहिजे, काय पेटणार नाही ते ऑइल, असा विचार करून त्यांनी दे स्टार्टेड द रिसर्च. बट लेटर ऑन दिस so called petroleum fuels were discovered. मग त्याने त्याच्यानंतर क्रूड ऑइल डिस्कवर झालं, मग त्यांनी ते बाहेर काढलं, मग त्यातून वेगळे करायला ते सक्सेसफुल झाले, आणि मग ते पेट्रोल आणि डिझेल वगैरे तयार झालं. आणि मग असं लक्षात आलं की पेट्रोल आणि डिझेल सारखी फ्युएल इंजिन मध्ये आपण सहज बर्न करू शकतो, बरोबर. And there was so much money involved in this particular fuels that so much funds were granted for research related to these fuels. आणि त्यामुळे काय झालं की व्हेजिटेबल ऑइल वरचं रिसर्च पूर्णपणे मागं पडलं, आणि फक्त ही पेट्रोलियम फ्युएल्सच फक्त रिसर्च चालू झालं, कारण त्यांना त्या रिसर्चसाठी फंड्स मिळत होते. आणि त्यामुळं व्हेजिटेबल ऑइलचा रिसर्च पूर्णपणे दबला गेला आणि फक्त पेट्रोलियम फ्युएल्स वरती राहिले. आणि तिथून पुढे फक्त पेट्रोलियम फ्युएलच रिसर्चला हे केलं गेलं, एनकरेज केलं गेलं. ओके. अँड देअरफॉर व्हॉट हॅपन्ड इज स्लोली all the research was done with respect to petroleum fuels, and then we discovered the petrol engines and diesel engines. And one of that was here, as we mentioned over here, in 1876, Nicholas Otto. So many scientists. So if you take the list of German scientists who are involved in the basic research of engine, the length is the list is very lengthy. And त्यामुळं ऑटोमोबाईलचं माहेरघर असं म्हटलं जातं जर्मनीला, आणि प्रत्येक मेकॅनिकल इंजिनियरचं स्वप्न असतं जर्मनीला जायचं. का? कारण टेक्नॉलॉजीचं किंवा ऑटोमोबाईलचं माहेरघर असं म्हटलं जातं जर्मनीला. ओके. बिकॉज most of, if you take out the list of scientists who has worked basically with respect to engine, most of them are from Europe. Okay, most of them are from Europe, and out of that also most of them are from Germany. Okay. So the Nicholas Otto. Then we have the second type of engine, what we call it as a diesel engine. Okay. It was invented by Rudolf Diesel. The name of the scientist is Rudolf Diesel. The diesel engine, also known as compression ignition engine, is an internal combustion engine in which ignition of the fuel that has been injected into the combustion chamber by the injector takes place. It has higher efficiency due to its very high compression ratio. Okay. So this particular scientist, Rudolf Diesel, he invented a new type of new method of ignition of the mixture, wherein he initially have taken the air, he has compressed the air, and at the end of the compression stroke, he injected the fuel into the combustion chamber, hot air, and as it is being injected into the combustion chamber, it burnt. Okay, so that particular cycle was called as a diesel cycle, and on his name, the engine was named as diesel engine. So the inventor is Rudolf Diesel. So these are the two basic type of engines we generally have in this particular subject also for our learning. So what are the features, what are the characteristics of a engines? So let us see with respect to petrol and diesel engine, whatever we have discussed till now. So on the left side, we have the characteristics of a petrol engine. It works on Otto cycle. And on the right side, we have the characteristics of a diesel engine. So the diesel engine works on diesel cycle. So on the with respect to cycle, the petrol engine works on the Otto cycle, while diesel engine works on diesel cycle. Then we have the mixture. Air fuel mixture is prepared outside the engine and it is supplied in case of SI engines. In case of petrol engines, air fuel mixture is prepared outside the engine by a device what you call as a carburetor, and then it is supplied to the engine. So whatever we supply through intake manifold is mixture, air fuel mixture. While in case of a diesel engine, what we supply to the engine is only air. So initially air is being pushed into the combustion chamber. That air is being compressed with the help of a piston, and at the end of the compression stroke, we inject the fuel. So that is again the difference between a petrol engine or SI engine and CI engine. Spark plug is needed. So in order to ignite the mixture, in case of SI engine, a spark plug will be required. Why? Because we are supplying with the mixture, and to some extent we'll compress it, and at the end of the compression stroke, we give the spark to burn the mixture. On the contrary, here no spark plug is required. It is compression ignition engine. Here the compression itself is to the extent that due to the heat generated by compression, आपण काल डिस्कस केलं बघा, टेम्परेचर आणि प्रेशर प्रोपोर्शनल वाढतात किंवा कमी होतात. मग इथं काय करतोय आपण, त्याला एवढ्या प्रमाणात कॉम्प्रेस करतोय की त्याचे टेम्परेचर वाढत जाते. म्हणजे एवढ्या प्रमाणात आपण प्रेशर वाढवतोय त्याचा कॉम्प्रेशन रेशो जास्त करून, की जसं प्रेशर वाढत जाईल तसं टेम्परेचर पण वाढत जाते. सो द टेम्परेचर रिचेस एट अ स्टेज वेअर when you inject the fuel, air is so hot that the fuel starts burning. So that is your CI type of engine. The compression ratio used in petrol engines or SI engines are from 6 to 12, in the range of 6 to 12. 6 च्या 12 च्या मध्ये. Okay, we have the compression ratio. Okay, generally around 6, 7, 8. That is the general range. Okay, very few cases we will be using higher compression ratios. Okay, why we are unable to use, what happens when we use higher compression ratios, all these things we will be learning in chapter number 6 and 7. Okay, now the compression ratio used in CI engines is around 14 to 22. So higher range. हे जे ranges वेगळे आहे आणि हे जे range पूर्णपणे वेगळे आहे. There is no overlapping. Okay, so in this particular case we are saying 6 as to 12, and here we are saying 14 as to 22, or it may be 24, 28. Okay, depends on the type of engine again. Now here this is generally low efficient engine, efficiency is less. Okay, and here the efficiency is high. Just mentioned that the higher efficiency is due to higher compression ratio. Now due to higher compression ratio, how the efficiency is increasing, we'll discuss later. Light in weight, petrol engines or SI engines are generally light in weight. वजन कमी असतं. Diesel engines are heavier. तिथं वजन जास्त असतं. Now why they are light and why they are heavy, as and when we will discuss later. Generally, petrol engines are cheaper and they are costly. Diesel engines are costly. Okay, so cheaper means less cost. स्वस्त असतात. Cheaper engine comparatively diesel engine पेक्षा स्वस्त असतात. Less vibration and noise. इथं व्हायब्रेशन आणि नॉइज कमी असतो कारण कॉम्प्रेशन रेशो कमी यूज केलेला असतो, आणि इथं व्हायब्रेशन आणि नॉइज जास्त असतात. Motorcycles, this used in motorcycles, car, light vehicles, etc., etc. Generally used in heavy vehicles like trucks, buses, generator sets, etc. So this was the comparison of a petrol engine and a diesel engine on basis of some of the characteristics of a engine. So ही लिस्ट अजून आपण लांबवू शकतो, बरेच लांबवू शकतो. एक एक पॅरामीटर घ्यायचा आणि त्याच्या बेसिसवरती आपण कम्पेअर करू शकतो. ओके, म्हणजे उदाहरणार्थ काय म्हणतोय आपण, turbocharged engines and naturally aspirated engines. Okay, so here this will be generally preferred as a turbocharged engines. Okay, sorry, naturally aspirated engines. So petrol engines can be generally are generally naturally aspirated engines. On the other hand, you have CI engines or diesel engines are generally turbocharged engines. Now why it is like that we can later on discuss. But what I mean to say is ही एवढीच पॉईंट नाहीयेत, त्यात अजून तुम्ही भरपूर पॉईंट्स, तुम्ही पुस्तक बघितलं तर त्यात भरपूर तुम्हाला पॉईंट्स दिसतील. पण याचा अर्थ असा नाही की आपण इथे एवढंच लिहिलेत म्हणजे एवढेच पॉईंट्स आहेत, बरोबर का. सांगायचा मुद्दा हा की आपण इथं काय गोष्टी डिस्कस करतोय, परंतु ते तेवढंच असते असं काही गृहीत धरून चालायचं नाही. उदाहरणार्थ आपण म्हणालो की CI इज यूज फॉर इंजिन ब्लॉक, याचा अर्थ असा नाही की फक्त प्रत्येक वेळी आपल्याला CIच वापरायला पाहिजे, दुसरं पण आपण वापरू शकतो मटेरियल, बरोबर. पण इन जनरल CI वापरतात, ह्याचा अर्थ असा आहे, बरोबर. जसं आपण इथं एवढ्या पॅरामीटर्स लिस्ट केलेत, पॉइंट्स लिस्ट केलेत, ह्याचा अर्थ असा नाही की पेट्रोल इंजिन आणि डिझेल म्हणजे कंपॅरिझन मध्ये एवढेच पॉईंट असतात, अजून भरपूर पॉईंट्स आपण ऍड करू शकतो, परंतु मेन इम्पॉर्टंट एवढे आहेत म्हणून आपण ते एवढं ऍड केलेले आहेत. सो दॅट इज अबाउट द कंपॅरिझन ऑफ अ पेट्रोल इंजिन अँड अ डिझेल इंजिन. नाउ in a similar manner we are going to compare two-stroke engine and a four-stroke engine. आता बेसिकली हे टू-स्ट्रोक इंजिन आणि फोर-स्ट्रोक इंजिनचं कंपॅरिझन थोडंसं आपण लेटर स्टेजला करायला पाहिजे, कारण पहिल्यांदा आपल्याला त्यासाठी टू-स्ट्रोक इंजिन आणि फोर-स्ट्रोक इंजिन काय समजायला पाहिजे. पण तरी सुद्धा ब्रीफली आपण डिस्कस करू की टू-स्ट्रोक इंजिन म्हणजे काय आणि फोर-स्ट्रोक इंजिन म्हणजे काय, आणि त्याच्यानंतर हे आपण डिस्कस करू. तर name itself indicates that two-stroke. Now we have discussed about the work stroke. What is the stroke? Stroke is the distance from one dead center to another dead center. It's called as stroke or stroke length. Okay, so that is called as one stroke. Distance between one dead center to another dead center. त्याला आपण एक स्ट्रोक असं म्हणतो. मग समजा एक इंजिन खालून वरती गेलं, इट मीन्स वन स्ट्रोक. परत वरतून खाली आलं, वरून खाली आलं, then it becomes second stroke. Again if it goes up, then it becomes third stroke, and then come back, it becomes fourth stroke. Like that we measure the stroke, बरोबर. And here we say the cycle is completed by only one revolution of the crankshaft or two strokes of the piston. ज्या वेळेला आपण स्ट्रोक बद्दल बोलतो त्यावेळेला आपण पिस्टन विथ कोरिलेट करतो, आणि ज्या वेळेला आपण रेव्होल्युशन बद्दल बोलतोय त्यावेळेला आपण क्रँकशाफ्ट बद्दल बोलतोय, रिमेंबर. तर टू स्ट्रोक इंजिन मध्ये क्रँकशाफ्टचं जर रोटेशन बघायचं असेल तर एक कम्प्लीट रोटेशन ऑफ द क्रँकशाफ्ट. इन वन कम्प्लीट रोटेशन ऑफ द क्रँकशाफ्ट वन सायकल इज गोइंग टू कम्प्लीट. आता सायकल म्हणजे काय, इथं वी आर टॉकिंग ऑफ थर्मोडायनामिक सायकल. तर सायकल म्हणजे मला असं अपेक्षित आहे की तुम्ही सायकल म्हणजे काय माहिती आहे तुम्हाला, बरोबर. थर्मोडायनामिक सायकल कशाला आपण म्हणतो, when the last point and the first point is same then we call it as a cycle. या सगळ्या गोष्टी तुम्ही थर्मोडायनामिक्स मध्ये शिकता, बरोबर. तर त्याला आपण एक सायकल म्हणतो. तर एक सायकल कंप्लीट करण्यासाठी आपल्याला क्रँकशाफ्टचा एक कंप्लीट रोटेशन लागत असेल, then such a engine is called as a two-stroke engine. Or if we are talking in terms of a strokes of the piston, then two strokes are required to complete the cycle of a engine. Such a engine is called as a two-stroke engine. And for a four-stroke engine, the number of rotations required are two rotations of the crankshaft. Two complete rotations of the crankshaft are required, and or four strokes of the cycle, piston are required to complete the cycle. म्हणजे एक सायकल, आता एक सायकल म्हणजे काय, एका सायकल मध्ये सक्शन, कॉम्प्रेशन, एक्सपान्शन, एक्झॉस्ट सगळं येतं. त्याला आपण एक सायकल असं म्हणतो. आता ही सायकल कंप्लीट करायला आपल्याकडे जर फक्त एकच रोटेशन, क्रँकशाफ्टचं रोटेशन वापरत असू किंवा 2 स्ट्रोक पिस्टनचं वापरत असू तर त्याला आपण 2 स्ट्रोक इंजिन असं म्हणतो. आणि दुसऱ्या टाईपच्या इंजिन मध्ये आपल्याला 2 rotations of the crankshaft or 4 strokes of the piston are required to complete the cycle. Then we call it as 4-stroke engine. 1 power stroke per revolution. 2-stroke engine मध्ये एका रेव्होल्युशन मध्ये क्रँकशाफ्टचा एका रेव्होल्युशन मध्ये आपल्याला 1 पॉवर स्ट्रोक मिळते, बरोबर. आणि 4-स्ट्रोक इंजिन मध्ये 2 रेव्होल्युशन्स मध्ये 1 पॉवर स्ट्रोक मिळतो. 1 पॉवर स्ट्रोक पर 2 रेव्होल्युशन्स ऑफ द क्रँकशाफ्ट, बरोबर. 2 रेव्होल्युशन्स लागतात 1 पॉवर स्ट्रोक तयार करायला. आणि 2-स्ट्रोक इंजिन मध्ये आपल्याला प्रत्येक रेव्होल्युशन मध्ये 1 पॉवर स्ट्रोक आहे. इथं प्रत्येक 2 रेव्होल्युशन मध्ये आपल्याला 1 पॉवर स्ट्रोक मिळतो. Ports are used in 2-stroke engine. Shear walls are used. Ports are used in 2-stroke engine and walls are used in 4-stroke engine. 2-stroke engines are simple, light in weight and low cost. Generally simple असतात, कन्स्ट्रक्शन सिंपल असतं कारण त्यात काय लागत नाही फारसं. एक सिलेंडर, त्याच्यामध्ये पिस्टन आणि त्या सिलेंडरला 2-4 होल्स, ज्याला आपण पोर्ट्स असं म्हणतो. परंतु 4-स्ट्रोक मध्ये सिलेंडर, पिस्टन, वरती वॉलला ऑपरेट करायला मेकॅनिझम, त्याला ड्राईव्ह करायला कॅम्पशाफ्ट, म्हणजे एक कॉम्प्लिकेटेड सिस्टम होते, मोर कॉम्प्लिकेटेड. सो वी से हियर वी से इट इज सिंपल, हियर वी से इट इज कॉम्प्लिकेटेड. हियर वी से आता सिंपल आहे, पार्ट्स कमी आहेत म्हणजे ती लाईट असणार, म्हणजे वजन कमी असणार. ह्याचे पार्ट्स जास्त आहेत म्हणजे हेवी असणार. इथं पार्ट्स कमी आहेत म्हणजे याचे कॉस्ट लेस असणार. ह्याचे पार्ट्स कमी आहेत जास्त असल्यामुळे याची कॉस्ट जास्त असणार. सो इट इज लेस लो कॉस्ट अँड हियर इट इज मोर कॉस्ट. मोर पॉवर फॉर सेम साइज ऑफ द इंजिन. इंजिनच्या साईजच्या हिशोबाने पॉवर जास्त असते, परंतु साईजच्या हिशोबाने डिझेल इंजिन मध्ये पॉवर कमी असते. बघा, कॉन्ट्रडक्टरी वाटू शकतो तुम्हाला. आपण आता साईजच्या हिशोबाने म्हणतोय, म्हणजे एवढी साईज घेतली, अमुक एवढी साईज घेतली, तर समजा त्याच साईजचे 2 इंजिन आहेत, एक पेट्रोल आहे एक डिझेल आहे. त्या केसमध्ये पेट्रोलच्या इंजिन मध्ये जास्त पॉवर तयार होणार, कारण आपण साईज बेसिस वरती बोलतोय. तेवढ्याच साईजचं दुसरं इंजिन डिझेलचं घेतलंय, कारण डिझेल इंजिनला मोठी साईज लागते, आपल्याला माहितीये, हेवी असतं ते, बरोबर. तर आपण साईज बद्दल बोलतोय, मग तेवढीच साईज म्हणलं तर त्या केसमध्ये पेट्रोल इंजिन विल बी मोर जनरेटिंग मोर पॉवर. पिस्टन शेप विल बी क्राउन, वेगळ्या वेगळ्या टाईपचे पिस्टन असतात इथं. हिअर इट इज लेस एफिशियंट अँड मोर एफिशियंट. आता ही का लेस एफिशियंट आहे आणि का मोर एफिशियंट आहे, तर आपण आता जस्ट मागच्या स्लाइड मध्ये डिस्कस केलं की एका ठिकाणी आपण कॉम्प्रेशन रेशो कमी वापरतोय, दुसऱ्या केसमध्ये आपण कॉम्प्रेशन रेशो हायर वापरतोय, बरोबर. तर कॉम्प्रेशन रेशोच्या बेसिसवरती पण एफिशियन्सीचा परिणाम पडतो. आणि सायकल मध्ये ज्या वेळेला आपण शिकू त्यावेळेला पण आपण परत बघणार आहे की एफिशियन्सी कसा फरक पडतोय ते. Generally used 2-stroke engines are used in motors, mopeds and scooters. Nowadays we are not using the 2-stroke engines, but earlier it was used. Now still they are used in farm equipments, okay, all the farm equipment, sprayers, etc., okay, and the industrial applications. Many cases we are using still 2-stroke engine, okay. Remember that automotive application is only 25% of the engine application. Automotive application is only lesser than 25% application. There are so many other applications of engines, बरोबर. Water pumping, agricultural applications, then electricity generation application, then juice centers we have. So there are n number of applications, and out of which only 25% of all the engines produced we are using only in the automotive. So when we are studying the IC engine subject, we should keep the whole picture in our view, okay, not only just automobiles, okay. So but remember, obviously automobile is one of the most important application with huge amount of engines being used. And here in cars, bikes, trucks, etc., we generally use four-stroke engines. So that is how we have the different types of, that is two-stroke and four-stroke comparison. So again, we can go for comparison, that we can go for in the next class. So because almost it is 4:30, and I hope you are tired from the morning. So I will not extend the lecture more. So now I request the students to write your names in the chat box. So don't repeat it, write repeatedly. Okay. So write your names in the chat box for marking your attendance, and ask your doubts regarding whatever we have discussed today. Those who don't have any doubt can leave by marking their attendance in the chat box. So now the session is open for discussion, doubts. Any doubts? Anybody having? हो नाही एवढं.
झालं शेवटचं ऍडमिशन करून आलं. काय मेसेज बिसेज आलाय बरोबर थांबायचं वगैरे असलं काय आहे का आलाय आलाय का HOD and staff could not live until status of reporting of clear कधी बघायचं